Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. What is up, everybody? My name is Zach, and I will be drawing my webcomic project Valkyrie today. Right now, we're working on Chapter 8, and I'm going to try and do a whole page from scratch today. So we have page 6 done, which is this page right here. I don't want to put any text yet because I don't want to spoil it. But for this next page, page 7, I'll go ahead and make a folder for it. We're going to go ahead and just, panel it out, sketch out all the panels, and then maybe add some text here and there. We're going to color it, we're going to line it, we're going to do everything. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Other than that, feel free to sit back and enjoy as I create this webcomic. Oh, and the question of the week this week is, in your opinion, what's better, 2D animation or 3D? So go ahead and just let your opinions free in the chat for anyone that is watching. Now, this has slightly fewer panels than the other pages, but that's because this is just going to be like a montage of them getting ready to go out and fight. I'll put it in the folder. We're going to leave a little space down there at the bottom just because we can. And I think first we'll have just kind of a shot of Hanusuke carries a katana, so we'll have a shot of his sword kind of just on his belt. Once again, feel free to just talk to each other in chat, say hi, introduce yourselves. We're going to be streaming for about an hour today. We'll straighten that out in a little bit, but we can go ahead and reposition it. Let's see, who do we want next? Let's get maybe Suzanne's gun kind of draped across her front right here. Yeah, that'll look good. And her gun is massive, so we're just gonna play on the size a little bit. I think her hand could be a little bigger. And her gun has a big neon stripe going down the middle. And again, this is just a rough sketch at this phase, so we're not going to worry too much about accuracy. This is just to kind of plan out what is going to be in each panel. We'll get more accurate when we get to the line art stage. Then I think Rashida's hood will be right there. Let's see, after Rashida, let's see, who are we forgetting? Oh yeah, Isabella. Isabella uses tonfas, which are like nightsticks. So we're gonna, how should we frame this? Please feel free to offer suggestions in the chat while I do this. I will definitely be reading chat for the entire stream. I think we could do hers. Kind of have her fist down here. And have her stick like that. Maybe have some action lines for it. And then finally, we're going to have Ikora getting her wings ready to go. So we're going to have her head right here. her wings will be really glowy and fancy right there. And again, we'll fix that when we get to line art. Alright, once again, this is going to be a pretty simple page, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get to the last page of the chapter tonight. So let's go ahead and move on to line art. And line art's going to be fairly easy for these since we don't have to draw whole bodies and we can kind of exaggerate some stuff. So we're going to turn down the opacity on the layer with the sketch, and we are going to switch from pencil to a more refined pen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to get to drawing this armor. He's got a little flame pattern on the front little part of his skirt. And here we can add some more details. Always remember to save your work. While it's saving, I'm going to go ahead and plug a little bit of my social media. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/ZachMorganArt. I'll actually put a link to it in the chat. And you can pull this link up at any time by just typing !Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have the same user handle there. I post a lot of fan art. I post comic updates there. You can also join the Discord that we have for the comic. If you want like almost daily comic updates, you can go there. And I'll put a link down there. Since it is taking a little while to save, I'm just going to check the health of the stream, and it looks like we are good. Also, if you want to read the webcomic this is from, I believe that's the right command. Yep, there it is. This is the webcomic I am drawing. There are currently 7 chapters. You can go ahead and check all of that out. And it sure is taking a long time to save. Alright, there we go. That's just in case it crashes. I have it set to autosave at a certain point. straighten out this sword. Thanks for joining in, Floof. How are you today? Well, Floof, I'm using Clip Studio as well. The way that I get those straight lines is just by holding Shift and clicking where I want the line to go. So let's say I wanted a straight line to go from here to here. I would click there, hold down Shift, and then go over here. And it makes a straight, even line. Or you could also use this tool right here, this little blue triangle, and that's a ruler, and you can set up different rulers on your layers and it'll help. There is a way to curve it if you use the ruler. You can use the curve ruler, and I have it set to spline, so it will make a curve for me. And then you double click to end it, get your tool out, and there's your curve. Personally, I don't use the rulers on this. That way I can just work a lot faster. But now that we are done with the line art on that panel, I think we will move on to the next one, which is Suzanne's gun. Now, Suzanne's gun is very hard to draw, so I'm actually going to open up, if I can find it. Let me just find Suzanne's poster that I made. Yeah, after you draw it straight like that, there really isn't a way to curve it afterwards. It's usually just made for doing a straight line. So let's look Suzanne. Yeah, I used to do that, Floof, but now I just do it all digitally, and I've been just doing it all in one big program step, I guess you could call it. So that way I don't have to try and up the resolution at all. Let's see where... There we go. Let's do the transparent one, that way we can get the colors right. Floof, I've seen your work. Your work does not look like butt. Okay, so now we have a good reference for her gun. As we can see, right here would be the trigger, but it's behind her leg. Right here we have a strap for both holding on with your hand and for holding the shoulder strap around. Let's actually fix this window. So I'm going to be using that as a reference for this. And I also use the holding down shift to get those straight lines, which is what I'm going to do right here. And it saves a ton of time to do it that way. I think I drew it too high, but that's okay. We can just... I am using a tablet floof. I am using a Huion GT191 canvas, which is kind of like a Wacom Cintiq for like half the price. I would totally recommend it. It's a big one with a screen on it, so it isn't for everybody. Like, if you're a beginner, I would recommend getting a screenless tablet. Well, if you use your laptop screen, I used to use my laptop screen for a lot of my art. Using your laptop screen actually isn't that big of an issue if you have good hand-eye coordination. And I have seen some of your work. You have very good hand-eye coordination because it looks like you just used a normal tablet. I can't tell a difference between your traditional and your normal style. So that's a good thing. I would recommend getting something like a Wacom Intuos if you're looking into a tablet. I started off with an Intuos myself. But also, it's a belief of mine that if you cannot master art traditionally, you won't master it digitally. Because digital allows you to cheat, and you won't learn the techniques that you need to. Like you won't learn like anatomy or anything like that just doing it digitally. And there's her vest. She has a shirt underneath. There's her pants. More of her pants. Let's see, her leg goes out to about there. And now we're gonna make sure these lines are clean. Just a quick reminder, if y'all want to be updated on when I stream, the best way to do that is to go ahead and drop a follow and then turn on notifications. Alright, next is Rashida. Now Rashida, she's going to be kind of silhouetted, kind of like Ikra will be, because they're all just prepping for battle. Their faces aren't important in these panels, unlike normal, when they would be. But Rashida's weapon is kind of a cloth ribbon with a knife on the end. It's like a rope dart, but the dart is curved, has a curved blade. So the key to drawing fists is to remember that each of the fingers are all wrapping around this thing, so it's not going to be perfectly like clenched up. And since this is like wrapped around her hand, we can make it kind of tight. Once again, she's pulling it tight so we can go ahead and cheat and do this little maneuver. She actually wears a bit of armor on this side. It's supposed to kind of look like a falcon's head, or at least that's what I envisioned. And her clothes have a cuff on them. That's a little bit too thick for her wrist. Alright, now we get rid of the sketch. Make sure our line work is clean. Now she has black cuffs, so what I can do is to go ahead and separate it by doing that. And since all of my other colors are going on another layer, I don't have to worry about them bleeding onto her cuff. Alright, well it is 7:30, meaning that it's about time for me to take a quick water break. I'll be back in about a minute, and then we will continue drawing, and hopefully we will get to the shading portion real soon here. So don't go away, I will be right back. Alrighty, we are back. Let's get right back to it. We just got done with Rashida's line art. Now all we have to do is Isabella's and Ikara's. Which, that shouldn't take too long. Theirs are fairly simple. We should be able to get to the coloring stage pretty soon here. Once again, the question for this week is, the question that I want y'all to discuss in chat is, which is better, 2D animation or 3D? Go ahead and leave your opinion in the chat below. Gonna draw the other end of her tonfa coming out of here, coming out of the other end of her hand. We can actually we're gonna draw it blurring by spinning it. We're gonna just draw a little bit of it not showing up right there, just to kind of help with the illusion that it's spinning. And we'll also do what's called an after image. Yeah, me too, Saxdad70. I think that it's really dependent on whether or not it would be better in 2D than 3D. Like with the recent Lion King remake, I don't think that it's really necessary to remake a movie that looks that good in 2D. And while it is auto-saving, once again, you can follow me on Twitter at ZachMorganArt. I can drop a link real quick in chat, and you can pull up this link anytime by typing a !Twitter, and Streamlabs will pull it up automatically. There's also our Discord, where you can chat with other people and get to know them better. Alright, and to help with Isabella's, spinning illusion, we're going to add what's called an after image, which is just like when you see a car go by super duper quick and it leaves kind of a blur. This is kind of an anime thing where it looks like another copy has been left behind. Hi there, Callums. How's it going? Alright, I think that is good for Isabella's arm right here. So what we're going to do next is Ikara's. And Ikara's is the hardest because we have to do this hexagon pattern for her wings. I don't know why I chose to put that pattern on her wings. I just did and thought it looked good and didn't realize this is going to be a pain to draw consistently. But once again, we're going to use our little cheat to make straight lines. Aw, Callums, I'm sorry to be hearing that, dude. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. We'll leave her face silhouetted like that because we don't want to focus on it. And now comes the hard part. The edge of her wings. Arifureta. I don't think I've heard of it, but based on what you're describing, I don't think I want to see it. And burritos are awesome. I'll tell you one show that really did CG well. It was called Land of the Lustrous. It was on like a couple of seasons ago. And it did its animation in a way where I don't think it could have been done in 2D and looked that good. We may not be able to use that cheat for this because we need to Callums, thank you for the follow. Absolutely appreciate it, my man. And thank you for following Floof. Absolutely appreciate you. You have my biggest thanks. Oh, Isekai. I am so tired of Isekai shows. For those of you that don't know what an Isekai is, it basically means transported to another world. So something like Sword Art Online, or No Game No Life, or insert anime here. Oh, and the good humor ends around episode 2. That's kind of sad. Alright, and I think Ikara's line art looks good. Valk Luck from R6. I don't know what you mean, Callums. Could you explain? Alright, that is all the line art done. So now we're going to go ahead and start coloring. Now, Hanosuke wears a blue sword on a red and green sort of kimono or battle. Yeah, her name is... It can be pronounced either way, like Ikara or Ikara. I prefer to just pronounce it Ikara. It's like Icarus, but female. That's actually how she originally got her name. I thought of her having wings first, and then I thought of her name. She was originally going to be a Ruby OC for a contest. I ended up losing and getting criticized saying she's not original. So I decided I'll just make something original with her. Yes, she did really wing it, Floof. Ha 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 ha. Gonna have to pull up Hanusuke's ref sheet so that way we can get the colors of this exactly right. There we go. Let's get those two colors into our paint bucket. He technically could crush someone's skull between his thighs, Floof. They are that strong. Wrong way to go with that. Alright, and then we have Suzanne's. Now with her gun, we're gonna take that color sample and apply it where necessary. We're gonna make that stripe a nice light blue. Actually, we're gonna go more teal with it to make it look more like it's glowing. Then for her bracer there. Okay, and then Suzanne's will go from scarlet to black. The other way. Now we move on to Rashida. Rashida's little rope here is the same kind of glowy blue that's on Suzanne's gun, except it doesn't glow. And there's Rashida's full design, so we can go ahead and take that color. And we can get the right color for her skin. Rashida is supposed to be Egyptian, so I wanted her to be darker skinned. Floof, I can read the chat. I know what you said. We're only going to be live here for another 5-10 more minutes, so we'll probably finish up coloring, and then we will be done for the night. Hi there, Dinky Devil. How are you doing today? Coming in right near the end here, we're going to finish up coloring these last few panels, and then we will probably be done for the night. We're going to be ending here at about 7:56 or 7:57. Well, thank you very much, Dinky Devil. I'm trying to improve on my writing skills a little bit, and it's taken a long time for this to load. So if you have any questions or would like to just say hi, please go ahead and do that now while this is saving. Then I made her hood a different color. It is actually the same hood she wears casually. She just kind of loosens it up, and then it becomes her battle hood. Then her knife, I forgot, is black, so we can do that on the line art layer. Like that you have the character profile sheets done up too. It's something I really need to get my butt into gear and do. Yeah, I decided to try and get most of the character profile sheets done before I actually even started writing my comic. That way I knew how to draw them consistently and could just grab any color that I wanted off the character. I could just go to that sheet, use an eyedropper, and grab it. It's a little bit dark for her blade. We're going to make sure that these little squares of skin don't show up. Alright, and then this one is going to go from, we'll go from a nice dark saturated blue to black. Yeah, that looks good. Need to make sure that these little tags get colored in. That's the one thing about this that I don't really like too much, is that in digital, whenever you use the paint bucket, it does that to close off some of the areas. It's not too big of a nuisance, but when it does it that often, it does become kind of a nuisance. Okay, next is Isabella. See, I think I opened hers recently. Yes, I did. Well, pretty much every photo editing or art software does that. And the bracelet on her is white, so we can just leave that white. Her tonfas are black, but I color them dark gray, so that way I can just shade them however I want. And I think we can go ahead and just paint the rest of her tonfa except for this part. I need to paint that black. Alright, so for these, I'm going to paint over it in like 50% really light gray, which will look something like this, if I can actually just make a new layer and set it to about 50. So that way it looks like it's swinging around real fast. It might need to be a little bit darker. There we go. Welcome back, Callums. We're actually about to end it here in just a minute. After I get this done and her gradient on, I think is when we are going to call it. So you kind of got back just in time for me to close out. Now, Isabella's gradient is going to be a bit different. We're actually going to make it go between two different dark colors. Her main two colors are red and green. So in CSP, the shortcut, I use key shortcuts. So the shortcut G is your paint bucket tool and your gradient. So I selected foreground to background, and that is, you can actually set it to which way you want it to go. And I'm going to set one color to be dark red and another to be dark green. And then I'm going to drag wherever I want my gradient to be. The longer you make it, the smoother it'll be. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to make this 100% opacity just for now so I can clean it up a bit. I'm going to set it back to 50. And we forgot to do the gradient for right there. So what we're going to do is just redo this gradient. I'm going to desaturate that green. I'm going to select right here. We're going to select everywhere else. Maybe just right here will be fine. Yep, that should do it. Alright, y'all, I think that is going to cut it for this stream. Thank you very much for joining in. Don't forget, I will be streaming next Wednesday at 7 p.m., same time, same channel. Please read my webcomic. It is on Webtoon. I will drop a link in the chat real quick. It's on Webtoon at bit.ly/ValkyrieComic, or you can hit that link. Be sure to join the Discord if you want more comic updates and to just chat with me whenever I'm offline. Don't forget to follow my Twitter as well. We just hit 600 followers, and I can't thank y'all enough for that. In the meantime, I'll be seeing y'all later, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, y'all.